Hey guys, how are you doing today? Hope everyone's having a good day so far. I once made a video about why Darth Vader never cloned himself. The link is below. I always thought it would make for a cool story if he had. I mean, a clone of Vader with no injuries? Would he be in the light side or the dark side? How powerful could he get? What if, well, we can just keep going on and on. Before I do that, I'm gonna stop myself. Now, just because Vader never cloned himself doesn't mean that he was never cloned. And this story, as you can probably tell, is from Legends. So let's begin. During the reign of the Empire, a Force-sensitive Alderaan survivor and her brother arrived at the abandoned rebel outpost on Dantooine, where they decided to lay low for a while and hide among one of the local Dantooine nomadic tribes. However, soon enough, the safety they sought came to an end when they stumbled upon the ruins of an abandoned Jedi fortress. The natives believed it to be cursed. Curious, the two siblings decided to investigate and were shocked to find very confused and mixed up rebels who seemingly appeared to have been stranded and left behind by the Alliance. Mystified, they soon uncover within the ruins an unmanned cloning faculty run by old yet still active droids, used by the Jedi long ago. The rebels they had encountered were clones, made from hair and skin samples left behind by the real ones, when they had moved on from Dantooine. And before they knew it, the young Force-sensitive and her brother were suddenly confronted by doubles of themselves, who had been imprinted by a mysterious technique. The droids utilized this technique, which gave them their originals' actual memories and personalities. Except the process was faulty, as it was with all clones that the droids had created in the facility. They only had partial mental function, and their synchronized personalities were flawed. Therefore, every clone was unhinged and violent, and just when they thought it couldn't get any worse, a dark helmeted cloaked figure appeared. None other than Darth Vader himself. Or was it? Apparently, sometime before A New Hope, Vader had visited the ruins of the Jedi Fortress with a squad of stormtroopers, and the facility's defenses had soon ambushed them with security turrets, wiping out all of the Dark Lord's troopers and injuring Vader. Enough so that he had left some of his blood behind. Now, this means they would have either had to, hit him in the chest or the abdomen or, the thighs, because that's really all that was left of him. Or, of course, his face, but that's unlikely. There had been enough genetic material for the droids to follow their programming and begin the cloning process. However, because of the inherent flaw in their technique, which plagued all of their clones, Vader's clone was unable to utilize its full potential in the Force. Though presumably, as a clone, it had all of the limbs Vader lost and an uninjured body to mimic the look of Darth Vader, the cyborg, and not that of Anakin Skywalker. So, the droids built it a costume made out of the scraps lying around the abandoned rebel base that accurately matched with the great detail of Vader's armor, but with none of the functionalities. So, essentially the clone was cosplaying Vader. Literally, this is like cosplay in Star Wars. This included constructing a lightsaber, but the device that had the appearance of a lightsaber didn't actually emit a blade. It was just an imitation. It was just a hilt with a fake blade projection that simply passed through objects without causing any damage. When I say cosplay, this is literal, future cosplay. The two Alderaanians managed to escape the facility and the mad clones, but soon after, the real Darth Vader returned and, to his surprise, was confronted by his own clone. But not being as powerful as the actual Sith Lord, Vader's clone ultimately fell to Vader's blade. The Dark Lord contemplated the clone's nature briefly before he finally decided to depart the facility for good. So it makes me wonder, was Vader actually contemplating on cloning himself and trying to perfect, the clone to go back into Anakin's form? And then maybe if you learned how to do essence transfer, the power that we've learned in Legends, which Palpatine tried to do many times after Return of the Jedi, he would be able to basically transfer himself into the new Anakin body. But of course, this is super difficult and it never happened. So that's just a theory. Now, I think this story is interesting, but also a missed opportunity. What if the cloning process didn't make Vader's clone insane, but maybe only restored part of his memory? I mean, it could have been cool if the clone thought it was Anakin, with its last memories being of events shortly before Episode 3, or maybe slightly during the beginning. Then confronting the real Darth Vader and seeing that his ultimate fate had turned into this. And for Vader, he would be facing his younger self, who was still in the light. Not in his mind, but on a battleground in the real world. This could have been a really great fight and emotional for both of them. Of course, there is a reason that we didn't get that. This all takes place in a book that was released before The Phantom Menace, so that's why it's droids and not Kaminoans, who are the cloners, and probably the real reason that the writer put the clone in Vader's armor is that no one at the time knew what a young Anakin Skywalker would really look like. But I still think it's a fun little story, 2 Darth Vaders fighting. Let me know what you guys think down below. Hope you enjoyed this Legends tale from the book Galaxy of Fear, Clones. Have an awesome rest of your day. Throw a like on this one if you enjoyed it, and I'll catch you in the next video. Until then, remember, the Force will be with you, always.